everybody? It's Captain Trucker. Welcome back to the channel, man. Good to see you all. Today we're going to talk about a few things. Okay, I want to talk about what's called the Philippines foreign vlogging genre. Okay, in the Philippines, and also I'm writing a novel right now, and I wanted to update you guys with like just some of the stuff that's going on. I've been having a really hard time mentally the past few days writing this novel, because I've had to dredge up stuff from the past and talk to people, people's traumatic, horrifying experiences and so forth, and write in those kind of characters and going over those stories from the past is not the most fun thing to do, but it's necessary. And yeah, I was having some really dark thoughts last night, like the kind of thoughts like that if you told somebody, they'd probably like do wellness checks on you. But I mean, it's not that serious, I feel much better today. Driven like 3,800 miles this week, or will have by tomorrow. So it's been a great week, man. It's just good. And in a way, sometimes I distance myself from what's called the foreigner vlogging community down there in the Philippines. There's a whole spreadsheet on a website somewhere. There's actually like 500 known vloggers, some bigger than others. And yeah, I'm on that list too. And yeah, there's a lot of vloggers, man. But yeah, sometimes I kind of distance myself from it because I don't watch a lot of them, but the ones I have, they're interesting people when you talk to them personally. And one of the things I've talked about on my channel was always, one of the themes rather, was like what I call neo-social media colonialism, like the way foreign vloggers are in fact influencing or affecting these countries directly or indirectly through the way they promote the country, the way they talk about the Philippines, their message, and so forth and so on. And it's like a real topic, and it's something that should be considered by any vlogger that goes to these countries, okay? And I guess not the most popular subject, but it is important, because there's going to be more and more foreigners like going to those countries in the future, right? And settling, retiring, visiting, and there's some channels that still kind of promote in some way, shape, or form those old colonial attitudes of not so much assimilating and appreciating new cultures, but how to dominate women and get women, and all the things that are involved in getting women and sleeping with women, and stuff like that. That's part of the problem, because those kind of messages do promote what's called tourism, and that's, I don't know if that's the right word, sorry. But anyway, so oh yeah, by the way, I was in a live stream and the other day, and this woman shows up, and I didn't know it was like a woman, and she goes, she goes, I can't stand truck drivers. She goes, I'm not attracted to you. I don't like them. I don't like them. And at first, I just kind of deleted it. I thought it was just like some like deranged, like drunken expat, like in Dumageddon, like pretending, created a profile and pretended he was a woman to like get under my skin and attack my vanity. And so I just kind of deleted it. And then I went back later, and I looked it up, and it wasn't a troll. It was actually like some legit vlogger in the Philippines, and she's like ridiculously hot. And I was looking at her channel, and it's basically like everything you can possibly do on YouTube without be considered porn, and she's like really hot. Then I go into like her live stream, and there's like 300 guys in there like on their phone, like I just like imagine them like breathing heavy, like in some darkly lit room, like in their mother's basement, like with beads of sweat like dripping down their fat faces like onto their filthy clothes, and like they're watching this woman in the Philippines, you know, can you turn to the left? Can you turn to the right a little bit? You know, like they send their little super chats. I was like, oh, that's sad. It's a sad situation. I felt bad for her, man. Honestly, it's not because. And by the way, she does not represent women that do that. Other vloggers don't represent the majority of Filipinos. Okay, they really don't. They don't. And there's plenty of like Filipino vloggers that do respectable messages and so forth and so on. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny because when you get stuff like that, it gives like reasons for some people to be like, see, like they do it to themselves, we can do it too. It's like, well, no, that's not a good excuse. Because, you know, I'm talking to a couple vloggers, and I won't say who they are, of course, but these guys, man, I swear, some of them, I really don't know what to make of some of them. And don't get me wrong, like, you know, they're nice guys, you know, like nice people. I don't know what to make of some. I swear, like, I think some of these guys, like, are just like, they live on a different planet, man. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, huge egos, right? But yeah, nice people, charming people. They'll help you. You know, they'll be friendly. They'll give you advice and buy you coffee. So, you know, they're upstanding, great citizens, I guess. But anyway, so I was having this debate with one of them about, you know, the effects that we can have on these cultures as foreigners, and some guys have sort of made up in their mind that it's basically just all about the money, and that's the only thing that I guess they're speaking for these the way the Filipinos are interpreting their message is like, well, you know, they don't mind as long as we're bringing foreigners in and increasing tourism. It's like, well, no, actually they do mind because it's more nuanced than that, right? I mean, yes, vloggers do attract tourism and stuff like that, but again, it's about who are you attracting, what's the message, and so forth and so on. And that you know, I'm sorry, but it's true. So some vloggers in the community have gotten a lot of public flack for their messages, and you know, it's interesting. It's not funny, but some of it is, because it's their reaction to it is funny. Like, there's absolutely, like, by some of them, like, no accountability. Like, they've done absolutely nothing wrong, and you know, they see themselves as being persecuted for their belief system, right? And they kind of justify some of what they do based on like those rare groups of Filipino vloggers I was telling you about, who was telling me how she was absolutely not attracted to me. Like, I don't know, it was whatever. You know what's fun, weird about that is and it worked too, because it got under my skin. Well, I mean, you know, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so there's like, I was telling, there's like 50% of the people that watch my channel are men, or 60%. Then there's like 35% women or something, and then 5% unidentified. But that's because it's like a family channel, I think. It promotes wholesome messages and so forth and so on. It's not just because of my lovely beard, which I'm missing a patch right here right now because I was doing my novel, and I'm having like these thoughts and dark, you know, and I started like, you know, playing with my beard, and I realized after 3 hours of doing that, I like made this patch, and it's really not attractive to look at, so I apologize. But anyway, yeah, man, I don't know what to make of some of these guys, man, but I think there's also a notion, and this isn't just in this genre, but anywhere in the world, and this is where a lot of people get scammed in life, is I think is people seem to think as long as you're a nice guy, and you hear that a lot, like in Hollywood too. You'll hear like people in Hollywood say that, like actors and stuff, like, he's a nice guy. As long as you're nice, he can do anything you want. And need I remind you that, you know, oftentimes sociopaths can be nice and charming. Wolves in sheep's clothing. I'm not saying that's what some of these people are, but I'm saying that theory doesn't really hold a lot of weight. Now, when you look at the Filipinos, like, their culture really is nice, genuinely, and they welcome us foreigners with open arms, and they welcome people. And so we kind of do want to avoid messages that may inadvertently promote old colonial attitudes of you know, being a king and living like a king in a foreign land, and leveraging money and relationships, and on and on and on, because then it starts to kind of become very transactional, right? But it's amazing to me, like, some of these vloggers, like, they really do believe like they're the like the spokespeople of all foreigners that go to the Philippines, you know. And I don't know, man, it's like, this is why I've kind of, like, sometimes I just step away a little bit just for, like, reality checks, you know. And it's a good thing. And if you're a new YouTuber or vlogger, don't think that you have to be friends with, like, some of these people you may watch or whatever, or follow their lead or do what they do. You can do your own thing. And believe me, like, these guys do not control the narrative of, like, the vlogging world and this kind of stuff. They may think they do, but they don't. And they certainly do not represent and speak for all foreigners going to the Philippines. But yeah, some of them, yeah, they, you know, they really believe in what they're doing. They've invested a lot of their life into this. They've taken a lot of flack. You know, I wonder if some of these guys, like, honestly, like, because some of them really have, like, an open dislike of, like, formal religion, and even a disdain for it, arguably. So I start to wonder, you know, when you put it all together, like, this, it's like, do some of these guys, like, see themselves as, like, these expat cult leaders, right? You kind of think about some of the stuff they do and talk about and what they stand for, and yeah, it's kind of interesting, you know. So I started to wonder that. I was like, like, subconsciously, I wonder if they desire being cult leaders, some of these fellows. Something to consider. But anyway, probably not. Who knows? I don't have all the answers, by the way, in case that's not obvious. I have some of the answers. Oh, God. Well, yeah, that's all I got for today, folks. If you have any comments, please submit them. I'd like to hear from you. You watching, thank you. Having a good day today, man. Like I said, man, I was really struggling the past few days, and it wasn't good, you know. All right, that's all I got. It's Captain Trucker. You all take care. Bye-bye.